What up, what up, what up, what up? Steelers family, Steeler Nation. What's happening, man? Welcome to the latest episode of the Terrible Towel post-game show, Broncos versus Steelers reaction. And we're here, and it's a victory. A victory. Got to break that down because we haven't had many of those. So we got to really breathe that in. A victory. The Steelers are able to get the win on the Denver Broncos. And you guys know how it works. I was about to say pregame. Post-game show, I'm just going to give you my knee-jerk reactions. I'll give you my notations based off of each drive, yada, yada, yada. Give you my takeaways, my key moments, and then I'm out of here. It's not going to be too long. You guys know from last night, my wife was out of town. Wife came back in town late last night. And, I haven't had a lot of time to spend with her, so I told her I would get through this show so we can hang out and chill out for the rest of the afternoon, evening, or what have you. So let me stop yapping and get to the action. First and foremost, we're going to say what's up to the early commenters. I see my man, Railfax in here. First one, Daredevil, Wave Dave, Football Mind 02, Mr. Sam Man, Rajan 39, Ozzy Tanks. Who else we got up in here? Steel City Batman, King 419. Who else? Miss Destiny, how you doing this evening, Miss Destiny? Hope you are well. Smitty's in the building. Yes, he did, Smitty, and I'm going to get to that. Don't worry, I'm definitely going to get into that. Ali Howard, Y Diggy, my good brother Y Diggy in the building. Still Boy DePoy, I love that. Still Boy DePoy, I like that name. That's dope. That is dope. Jack Bauer, Knight Rider. Who else we got in here, man? And I'm going to try to move through this. Leonard Langley, father-in-law Leonard in the building. Leonard, I texted you back. I didn't see your text until way late, and Kenyon and Tony can tell you this. We didn't really do any texting during the game. I took a different approach today. I left my phone away from me, so I didn't see your text about the game until later on. But I told you I always got the game. I got all of the channels. So anytime it's not showing on regular TV, I'm showing it. I'm showing it. I got it. So there you go. Who else? Big Gerbil. Oh, Gerbil, excuse me. You corrected me the last time. Big Gerbil. 007, Stephen Carpenter, good brother Kenyon. And all right, we'll go ahead and get started, guys. Like I told you, I don't have all of the time in the world. Actually, let me shoot this link in our chat as well, Kenyon and Tony's, just to make sure Tony has it. All right, so here we go. Let's get after it, man. Let me get my notes. I got them on my computer right in front of me because today, I was at home watching the game, so I was able to literally watch the TV and turn to the computer and make my notes all in the same time. So let's do it. So the first thing we're definitely going to talk about, man, is those who were inactive. So going into the game, of course, I had some concerns. We already know Dwayne Haskins. We already know Carlos Davis. Buddy Johnson was out. And it's interesting, man. Buddy Johnson not sticking around in terms of being able to be active. But, I'm sure that's just some rookie stuff. Spillane is probably going to get the helmet over him, which we saw Spillane out there a few times today. But the inactives were Haskins, Carlos Davis, Cam Sutton, James Washington, Buddy Johnson, and Akelo Witherspoon. Now, I want to talk about Witherspoon. I'll come back to it. I want to make sure a good crowd is here before I get into that because I've really got – matter of fact, let me put it – I'm going to copy his name and I'm going to put it down in my takeaways because the takeaways is usually the last thing I get to. I don't want to forget this. Definitely don't want to forget this. All right, so first offensive series. Benny Snell was called for a holding on the kick return. So we already got backed up a little bit. Very first play, Najee Harris picks up 6 yards on first down. That was a very good sign. I've been saying that here lately, the Steelers, last couple of weeks, they've been picking up some decent runs on first down, so it was good to see that. Broncos were able to get penetration on second down, but Najee was still able to pick up some yards on that. It was still good to see that. Ben was able to find Claypool on an out route to pick up a 3rd and 1 for a 23-yard gain. Jet sweep to Juju, picks up 2 yards. Benny Snell drops a pass on 2nd and 8. More than likely, he probably gets a first down, if not very, very close, so he would have made it 3rd and manageable. But then Ben Roethlisberger finds Deontay Johnson for a 50-yard deep shot. The Steelers go up 7-0. Great protection as well on that play. And just like that, it's very reminiscent of last week. Steelers able to go up early, and it's the same combination. Ben to Deontay Johnson again, the guy that I told you who is pretty much the number 1 receiver on our team from top to bottom. Claypool, however, is definitely another force. We'll get into that. But, yeah, Steelers start off well. You can't be mad with that start. Ben put the ball on the money, and it's what I always say. Ben Roethlisberger, if he does not have to pass an extreme amount of times, he can get the job done. Give me a second, guys. I forgot to grab one thing that I wanted to grab before the show started. Hold on. Give me a second. Here it is. I just want to get my stats because that's something I'm going to run off here a little bit later. Come on, man. The NFL Network, this app just be tripping on my phone, man. I don't know if any of you guys experience issues with this app, but this app is just da-dun sometimes. All right, so that's what I want right there. I'll come back to it. So that was the first offensive drive. Defense, there was a delay. Wait, let me pause myself. There's a donation. Thank you, Miss Odessa. And hello, Miss Odessa. How you doing this afternoon, this evening? Thank you for the donation. We're going to throw you a round of applause. Thank you so much for that, Miss Odessa, and thank you for tuning in like you always do. So I appreciate you wholeheartedly. So, all right. There was a delay of game by the Broncos, so it backed them up. Steelers were able to stuff the run on first down, which brought up a 2nd and 14. That was important, that they're able to, kind of keep a lid on the run somewhat. We'll talk about it later. Gordon picks up 5 yards on 2nd down, brings up a 3rd and 9, and Minka rallies to make the tackle behind the sticks. The Steelers were able to produce a 3 and out. I notated right here, very first nickel package or sub package, if you will, Arthur Marlette was the first one out there. We're going to talk a little bit more about Marlette as well. All right, so we got those drives out of the way, so now I'm just going to do my key moments. Second drive of the game. Ben Roethlisberger finds Freiermuth on 3rd and 2. Tight throw with some heat on it because, I think it was a linebacker at that point. Almost undercut it, but, put some heat on it, stuck it in there. Freiermuth picks up the 3rd and 2. Ben gets the ball tipped off of the pump fake, and Ray saves a potential interception by Purcell. Remember that? Tipped up, big boy kind of had it. Ray goes diving in with the shoulder, helps to knock the ball out, and saves what would have been more than possibly an interception because it was right in the dude's hands. Ben converts on a 3rd and 3 to Ebron, which set up for a 7-yard gain by Najee on 2nd and 10. Good to see we're running the football on 2nd down. We'll talk a little more about that as well. But then there was a false start by Chooks. Backs us up to another, I put 1st and 10, but it must have been 3rd and 10. Yeah, we got backed up on that play because there was a false start by Chooks. Then Ben gets hits and he fumbles. It was a coverage sack, but, Ben was unable to escape because, again, Ben is not the most nimble guy anymore, but, can't really, I don't know if I can blame Ben for that one. He was just trying to escape the pocket. The pocket kind of formed a C shape around him, tried to step, go to his right, but again, when the defensive guy is getting pushed that direction, he's able to get around and hits Ben. I'll have to go back, and again, when I watch the game again, I'll have to go back and take a look at what really transpired there, but it was more so a coverage sack because Ben was looking down the field, nobody was open. Needless to say, we fumbled the ball, and at that point, we are losing the turnover battle because we put the Broncos in prime position. So following that, T.J. Watt was able to get a tackle for loss on Javonte Williams. Brings up a 3rd and 12. Still is able to tackle Javonte short of the sticks, and they forced the Broncos into just a field goal. 3 and out for the defense, essentially, but they were able to get points, so I don't really credit the 3 and out like you normally would because they got points, but great defense right there by the Steelers. Again, man, the Steelers defense has done that quite often in the first half. They get backed up in that situation. You don't give up anything but a field goal. You cannot be mad at that whatsoever. All right, next. And again, guys, if I'm not looking right at y'all, I'm looking at you now, but y'all understand I'm looking over at the notes. So, I just want to always say that for those who might be new to the show. Let's see. Third drive. The Steelers run a tight end screen to Gentry. Say what? Don't worry. I'm going to talk a little more about this. Yes. Tight end screen to Gentry. I wrote in big bold letters, about time. Nice pickup on that, right? Then Najee rips off a big run for 21 yards. Whew. Najee was looking strong early. 21-yard gain. Ballage right after that loses 3 yards. Next after that, I put Gentry unable to block Miller because, that was the reason why he lost the yards. Good play by Von Miller. Then there was a screen attempt to Ballage. Did you hear what I just said? A screen attempt to a running back. All of a sudden, we're seeing some of this stuff. Probably wouldn't have panned out anyway because the guy was already on Ballage had he caught it. But still, it's just the fact that we attempted it. Caught my eye. Brings up a 3rd and 13, and then Ben misses Juju. It was a terrible throw by Ben Roethlisberger. Clearly, he threw it to the outside. Juju curled to the inside. You don't know if it was miscommunication, but I tend to believe that the route, because it was a curl, Juju ran the route correctly. Ben just made a bad throw. And, at that point, the Steelers had allowed Boswell at that time to kick the field goal, and the Steelers are up 10-3. Moving right along, on the next series, Cam Hayward tips a pass from Teddy Bridgewater, brings up a 3rd and 3. Steelers are able to get off the field after a 3 and out. And Sutton not looking for the ball on that particular play. You might remember that. Teddy kind of rushed it a little bit, but Sutton wasn't looking for it. May have been able to make a play on it, but either way, Steelers brought a lot of pressure. And again, got to acknowledge Cam Hayward's tip pass because this guy does something in every game. And I swear, every game we're talking about Cam Hayward. And TJ Watt, right? TJ might not have gotten any sacks, but that tackle for loss, he was getting pressure. So, sometimes you don't have to equate how good somebody did based off of sacks or interceptions. Look at what they did across the board. And that's what I always talk about when I, speak about Minka this year so far. So, 4th drive. Steelers have to start half the distance to the goal because there was a block in the back by Justin Lane. Steelers took a shot on 3rd and 2. It was great coverage by Surtain. It may have been a little bit of contact there, but you know what? I'm not upset. I'm not upset because when that happened, I'm never upset by, hold on, looks like we got a donation. So let's take time out to pause, say thank you. Round of applause. Thank you very much. AP Lucky number 13. Thank you for the donation. I really appreciate that. But getting back to what I was saying, guys, I'm not mad at the lack of a call there because, again, later on in the game, like just most recently we just saw, Terrell Edmonds didn't get called. He was a little grabby. The receiver was pushing off too. So as a guy who has played football, little contact, I'm never upset about that. Only when it's like obvious and it really keeps you from doing something, moving, turning, or whatever. But if both guys are fighting for the ball or you just got your hand on the guy, it's a good no call. So again, I don't know how some of you guys felt about Surtain's coverage there on that particular play, but I mean, you let that go. It was tight coverage. But again, I notated right there that was 3rd and 2. And again, Ben still looks to take the shot. When you get that single man coverage, which I get it, is only thing I'll be looking at as the season goes on is how often we do that and how successful we are when doing that. Okay? So keep that in mind. But anyway, guy had to get off the field there. Next possession by the Broncos, my man, my boy, Javonte Williams breaks off a huge run on 3rd and 1. And guess what? James Pierre saves the touchdown. Continued to run, continued to chase, tackles him down. And that came out to be a huge turning point because this is what happened. Brought up a 1st and goal. Broncos were called for delay of game because Javonte Williams had a rookie moment. He was excited, spiked the ball, They called him for a delay. Devin Bush was able to sack Teddy all the way back to the 17. Steelers at that point was able to force a field goal, which made it 10-6. And I wrote here again, play by Pierre was huge, colossal. That's early point in the game. That was a colossal play again, allowing the Steelers defense to get off the field with just a field goal against them, and Pierre not giving up on that play, chasing it down, saved the touchdown. Huge. Fifth drive by the Steelers. Juju goes down after a hit by Kareem Jackson. I wrote here, it looks like a bad arm injury. Might be a shoulder, though. We'll have to see, but the way he was kind of favoring the arm, it looked like an arm, but I think it might be a dislocated shoulder or something like that. We got to keep our eyes on Juju. And speaking of which, let me go back and, I'll do it in a minute. I don't want to forget the injuries. Well, actually, let me do it now before I forget. In-game injuries, we definitely got to keep our eyes on. Obviously, Juju went down. I just wrote that. We got to keep an eye on Ben Roethlisberger's hand. Notice that Ben had got hit in the hand, and he was kind of favoring it a little bit, his right hand. And then also Devin Bush went out the game. And I didn't notice that at first. I didn't notice I was seeing Spillane out there more, but Bush went out. So, we'll have to wait and hear what that's all about. Maybe some of you guys have already listened to. If you've heard Tomlin's presser by now, maybe you know. But we'll just have to keep an eye on those three guys, man, and just see how significant or how non-significant the injuries are. Also, Najee went down. Looks like it was cramps early, but then he went down again. And again, the way he walked off the field doesn't make me think it's anything serious. And I know, if it was a knee, people have walked off the field with ACL and all that, but it wasn't his knee. They were doing something with his lower leg. So I don't think it's significant, but he did not return to the game. And maybe the Steelers felt like we could get the game, we could still seal the game with him on the sideline. We had a lead. Maybe they were just being cautious. He was standing out there with his helmet off. It wasn't like he was back getting treatment or anything. So wasn't in street clothes. But let's keep an eye on that, man. Where am I? Okay, fifth drive. I talked about Juju. Then I said Ben finds Claypool covered by Von Miller for a huge gain to the 13-yard line. I'm going to come back in a second, but let me finish the rest of this drive. Chooks is then called for false start, backs the Steelers up to the 18. Now it's 2nd and 15. Ben nearly threw a pick, trying to force it to Najee. Najee kind of slipped on that play, if I recall. I think that was the one where he slipped. I think. Or this might be later in the game, but I did say, no, this wasn't the one. This is the one when Najee was on the right side. He just tried to force it to him, and the guy undercut it. Should have been an interception. Had both hands on it, and he didn't pick it off. Brought up a 3rd and 15, and then Deontay Johnson is able to draw a PI on Fuller. Now, that one looks like more of a pass interference. Definitely did. It was both was a little grabby, but, he had his arms kind of wrapped around him. That's a PI. You got to call that. Place the ball on the 1-yard line, and then Najee goes over the top. This is the second time we've seen him do that, so clearly he's going to do that. Kevin Dotson cleared the way as well. If you go back and look at that replay, and the Steelers are up at this point at 17-6. Right after that, I wrote Spillane is in coverage in the Broncos 2-minute drive. On that last 2-minute drive, that's when I noticed Spillane was out there. False start backs up the Broncos to a 1st and 15. Arthur Marlette and Norwood are both on the field together. Remember what I said if you guys watched the pregame show last night? I said I wanted to know how they were going to utilize these guys in terms of dime and things like that with Sutton being out. How would they utilize that rotation? We saw Arthur Marlette. We saw Norwood out on the field together in that situation. We did not see Carl Joseph, who was activated. Just saying. So I continue to say Marlette has nice coverage on that drive on back-to-back plays. Highsmith was offsides, which turned the 3rd and 15 to a 3rd and 10. Then Highsmith draws a holding on Bowles on the very next play. So that was able to get the Steelers off the field. But I definitely wanted to highlight Arthur Marlette played well, man. He played well. He had some moments in this game in coverage. Let's keep our eyes on that. 6th drive by the Steelers, and this was kind of a wash. We got the ball back with 1 minute and 31 seconds left. Kendrick Green gets called but ineligible downfield. And I'm not going to beat the rookie up on that. It was an RPO to, Deontay Johnson. And, in an RPO situation, you got to get the ball out fast. And, the line is thinking that it's going to be a run play. So I'm not really going to, get on Kendrick Green for that. It is what it is. And at that point, the Steelers kind of went very conservative, man. They kind of just let their clock run out, even though Najee had a decent run on that drive. By the time we got backed up, I felt like they just was like, let's just take the foot off the gas. Let's not force anything as they were backed up. So that was kind of a wash. Second half, Broncos are called for holding on the kickoff, starting position on their own 15. But then Cortland Sutton is able to beat Joe Hayden on an easy out route, like a deep out. Picks up the first down. Teddy then finds Gordon for another first down. I wrote here, Teddy then finds Patrick for another first down. And I notated here the Steelers were blitzing a lot. Steelers were blitzing quite often in this game and leaving guys on the island. Steelers were able to get off the field, though, after a 3rd and 7, ball batted down by you-know-who. Yes, Cam Hayward, once again, being disruptive like he always is. Now, all right. Now, the 7th drive, I have a lot to say here, so let me just read it really quickly, and then I'll get back to the other stuff. Najee rips off a huge 17-yard run. I say huge because it was a tremendous block by Cody White. He kind of peeled around, kind of an insert, like a wham type of block, and he laid out Kareem Jackson. It was a pancake situation. I mean, it looked like IHOP out there. I almost went and got my syrup. I know, corny joke, right? But I'm saying Cody White cleaned that boy out. And Najee, I mean, it's a beautiful thing. I saw this watching some college games yesterday. It's a beautiful thing when somebody is right in front of you. Like you see the runner and a lead blocker that is looking for somebody. So anytime when you can look in the middle of the line of scrimmage and there's a guy waiting to block someone and the running back is behind him, it's going to be a positive situation. All right, continuing on this drive, Dotson gets called for holding, brings up a 2nd and 17. Then Ben is able to find Najee on a Texas angle route. Now, for you guys who watch the pregame show, y'all know why I'm reacting this way with certain things that I'm saying here, right? And for those of you that don't know, I'll tell you in a second. An angle route, Texas route to Najee. We see it. Gets it to a 3rd and manageable, 3rd and 3. Ben is then able to convert to Claypool on a quick slant. And wait, I missed one thing. Let me go back really quick. I want to talk about that first big pickup I talked about Claypool. Where was it? It was the 5th drive, because I don't want to forget this. We got Von Miller matched up against Claypool, and Ben recognized that through that slant, and it was off to the races down to the 13. The reason why I wanted to bring that up, we are often criticizing the Steelers, all of us included, me included, when we repeatedly get caught like that. But I just want to say sometimes it happens. It happens sometimes when you catch the defense in the wrong formation or wrong personnel, or if you do a hurry up and you don't allow them to sub. That's when those things happen. But it doesn't just happen to us. Even though Butler kind of sticks with it a lot and he always gets out-coached or out-personneled, if you will, in certain situations. But look at what happened there. Ben saw it. Claypool, it has, come on. Von Miller has no chance against Claypool on a quick slant. So I just wanted to, kind of point that out before I forgot. All right, so back to the 7th drive, man. I said Claypool, again on a slant, we're able to convert to 3rd and 3. Ben gets hit. That's when his hand got hurt. Cody White drops a pass by Ben Roethlisberger. It was a little bit behind him, but, throw probably was affected by the hand or what have you, but you got to make that catch, dog. I mean, it hits you in your hands. I don't care if it is slightly behind you. If your hands get on it, you're supposed to catch it. But Ben then finds Freiermuth on a 3rd and 3. He misses Ray on a 3rd and 11. It was a switch route kind of concept. Ray, safety is kind of over the top, but Ray is in front of his guy, but then the safety is, a little bit over the top, coming down. But if a perfect throw, that gets, you fit that in there, no problem. And that was a little missed opportunity there. Steelers have to settle for a field goal, but, and I wrote but in bold letters, the Broncos get called for a personal foul. Leveraging. Wow. What a break for the Steelers, even though we hit the field goal. They get called for leveraging. It was an automatic first down. Right after that, Ben almost throws a pick to Najee, and this was the one when he slipped. Again, trying to find him on another Texas route. But then Najee goes out of the game. Looks like cramps. That's what I wrote here. And then Ben was able to find Claypool in the middle of the field. Again, for you guys that didn't watch the pregame show, y'all might not understand these reactions. Everyone who watched that show last night understands why I'm reacting this way, but I'm going to tie it all together here in a moment. Yeah, we find Claypool in the middle of the field, kind of seamish area. Claypool did a good job kind of staying away for the safety, but down the middle, not outside the numbers. And what a throw by Ben Roethlisberger. All right after that, Steelers are selling out on the blitz again. Teddy picks up a first down to Patrick. Patrick was having a pretty solid game. And then big Henry Mondeau, what a little spin move he pulls off, gets himself a sack. The Steelers were able to force a 4th and 5. Steelers played a bunch very well, but Patrick, good job with stretching out and, doing what he had to do to get the first down. But I can't wait to watch this play on the all-22, because when I saw that bunch, I was nervous because we were playing kind of tight. And a lot of times, you're setting yourself up for rubs and picks. But from what I saw from the naked eye, I got to go look at it again. It looks like the Steelers did a great job passing it off. And Norwood almost makes that tackle. He makes the tackle, but like I said, headsy play by Patrick to stretch the ball past the line before his knee hit. But the Steelers played that very well. Even though they gave it up there, I can't wait to go look at that on the all-22 because I want to see exactly what we did there. All right, so then Minka stops Williams behind the line for tackle for loss. Man, Minka, let me keep saying this. Minka might not have the interception so far this year, but this boy is balling in terms of keeping a lid on things and recognizing things from way back there. This was that play when he came from out of his free safety spot and like a bullet with his hair on fire, screaming to the line and able to tackle Javonte Williams for a loss. Minka is doing a lot of things that some of you guys may not really pay attention to. Steelers were able to force a 4th and goal on this drive, but the Broncos were able to score. Oh, wait. I'm missing some. Hold on. All right, here we go. After the tackle for loss, Teddy finds Sutton wide open to pick up a 4th and 2. Bugs draws a PI on the Broncos, pushes them back to the 13. I said PI. That must have been a holding. I don't know why I wrote PI. But Bugs draws a holding, pushes them back to the 13. Teddy Bridgewater. Shout outs to Teddy. I've always been a fan of Teddy Bridgewater, just the person. So I root for him. Maybe not today, but what a headsy play, man. Heads up play to scramble, to pick up 11 yards, because that clearly was what gave them the better opportunity to score, because then it was 4th and goal, and, the Broncos were able to score on a nice wide open play to Hinton. Nice design, man, how they sneaked that guy from one side to the left. They had to play flowing to the left, but they sneaked him from left to right, wide open, and, they scored. It's an NFL team. You're not going to keep guys out of the end zone all day, right? So that was a good job by them. Next up, 8th drive. KG, again, called for holding. Najee goes out again. Benny Snell picks up 9 to bring up a 3rd and 7. That was a good run by Benny. Steelers unable to get a first down. They go 3 and out, but the Steelers were able to forced to punt. The Broncos take over at their own 28 after a booming punt by that boy Harvin. Gigantic punt, and that was great. But then Sutton beats Pierre on that drive for a touchdown, 39-yard touchdown. Broncos at that point go for 2. They fail. Scores 24-19. So like I said, Pierre kind of got beat a little bit on a little bit of a hesitation, like double move. And Sutton gets past him. Beautiful ball, man, by Teddy. You know, I know they always try to get on Teddy for just being the dink and dunk guy, but Teddy will let that thing go when he has to. Beautifully thrown ball, man. And, you know, listen, Pierre got beat. So next up, the ninth drive, Ben was able to find Ben finds Deontay Johnson on a quick slant and moves the ball up to the 49-yard line. That was key. Ben then finds Claypool on the second read. If you go back and watch that play, Ben was looking to his right first, came all the way back, found Claypool on kind of like a stick or, it wasn't really a smoke route, but he was kind of, like in a stick or, something like that. He was just standing there. It wasn't like he was out in the pattern. Made a guy miss. And, Claypool was able to tote that thing and also wisely stays in bounds. Steelers then able to convert, but it took, was unable to convert, to keep the ball, but took a lot of time off the clock, and they were able to get a field goal, which pushed it out to 27-19, and with 2 minutes and 29 seconds left in the game. Very last drive by the Broncos. James Pierre almost gets a pick on 2nd and 5, right? Almost did. Remember they took that shot down the sideline? James Pierre jumps back for it, is unable to bring it in. Right after that, Teddy is able to find Hinton for 23 yards. And I believe that might have been on Pierre's side. I can't all the way remember, to be honest, but at this point, I'm feeling really upset because now they're in an in-goal situation. On first down or second, might have been second, but I think it was the first and goal. Joe Hayden comes up with a great PBU, and that was tremendous, because guy has a lot of height on him. Joe Hayden is able to time it right, looks back, goes up, knocks the ball out. And finally, James Pierre, what a defensive play. Round of applause for James Pierre. What an outstanding play by James Pierre. Recognizing the situation, speed turn, recognizing the route, know the ball is coming out quick. And this is what we talk about, guys, when we talk about corners and defenders in general, secondary players, DBs. Sometimes you have to understand the situation. For you gamers, you always hear me talk about situational awareness in Madden and how it lacks it. This is what I'm talking about. James Pierre understands what situation it is. He understands the route that's being ran on him when the guy cuts out. He understands there's a clock ticking in the quarterback's head. And that's why he also understood technique. Quick speed turn, quick. Whip that head back, look for the ball, locates it in perfect position, and he picks it off to seal the game. What an outstanding play by James Pierre. Got to give that boy a game ball today. He took some lumps in the game and then he kept fighting. That's what I was told Kenyon and Tony after the game. Kept fighting. That's what I like to see in players. That's that dog mentality. You're going to get beat sometimes, but you keep fighting. What Tomlin always say, don't blink. Don't blink. And you, my friend, even though you gave up a touchdown, you ended up being the reason the Steelers were able to hold on to that lead. Outstanding play by James Pierre. And I think this kid, the more he plays, he's going to continue to grow. Outstanding. So, here we go. What are my quick takeaways from the game? The Steelers did everything that I asked them to do last night. They did it all. They pretty much did it all, folks. That's why I was acting so funny when I was reading off some of these things. Guys, I have my notes right here. Look, I'm going to read them to you. I don't know if y'all can. Hold on, let me see. No, y'all probably can't see it. Pre-game notes. And again, if you watched the show last night, you heard me say this, but here are the notes. Steelers need to attack the middle of the field. Steelers need to go to Freiermuth on third down. Would like to see the Steelers run Najee on some angle routes. That's exactly what I said. I would like to see that happen. because we're doing a lot of flats and swings to him. Let's get him out in some angle routes. Who's guarding him? Look what else I wrote. And again, I said this last night. Why don't we ever do any, or maybe I said it Tuesday. I know I said all of these things this week. Why don't we ever do tight end screens? Did y'all remember me saying that? Y'all remember me saying that? And look what we did. And here's all of the things I talked about this week. Tight end screen attempts to the running back, look for Fryer move on third down, stick to the run game, angle route to Najee, throw the ball in the middle of the field some. Let's stop always going outside the numbers. Steelers get off to a fast start again this week. Steelers found their run game. I don't know where they found it, but they found it. Steelers go with 12 personnel early in the game, and guess who's out there? Gentry and Freiermuth, the better blockers. Good to see that. Good job using the proper personnel, Matt Canada. Applause for that. Mallette showing up in coverage situations. That was key to me. That was a big takeaway in this game, and held his own. Steelers were inviting the Broncos to beat them in man-to-man situations. You notice they did a lot of putting guys on the island. We did a lot of blitzing. And it worked, for the most part in terms of we still kept the score relatively low. I mean, I know the Broncos made that push in the fourth quarter, but the defense played outstanding today. They played outstanding today. They really did. Again, when it gets late into the game, sometimes you're going to give up some stuff. Bend but don't break, right? But then again, when we had to make a play, we made a play, even though it came at 17 seconds left in the game, 4th and goal situation. There's no better time to make a play than right there, right? And here's another takeaway. What's up with Witherspoon, man? Do y'all realize that Witherspoon was inactive today, again, when Sutton is out and Carl Joseph was activated? And we traded for him. Remember, I just said that. I think I said that last night when people was trying to figure out why we didn't trade for Gilmore. I was like, well, whether you like this player or hate that player, the Steelers have already traded for a cornerback and a linebacker, which is the reason why they probably were not in the market for Gilmore or Jalen Smith. But I'm starting to think this trade didn't work out because Witherspoon has only seen time in one game in which that was the Minkah Fitzpatrick. People try to put it on Minkah so much, when he's looking at Waller. But remember who Ruggs ran away from. I get it, he's fast. But I'm saying, Kilo Witherspoon just kind of gave him the inside. It was really no fight. So that's interesting. Let's keep an eye on whether or not this dude ends up playing. Because if not, what was that trade for? May have been a waste of a fifth round pick. But just wanted to acknowledge that. But all right, man, that's all I got, guys. I'm going to get ready to get out of here. Let me read a few of you guys' comments. I'll give you guys about 5 more minutes, if that. I just wanted to get through that. I will say, listen, this still doesn't tell me much. It does show me kind of what the team can do if we're balanced. Yeah, let me get to the stats. That's what I wanted to do. I almost forgot. This is what I've been saying. I still think, it's time for Ben to go. This should be his last year. But what have I been preaching all season? Yeah, we can still win with Ben if it's a balanced offense. If Ben Roethlisberger does not have to throw the ball 40 plus times. Have I not been saying that? Because again, Ben even showed you in today's game, some of his throws are just inaccurate. But he can do enough to make throws here and there. Beautiful throw to Deontay. But look at the numbers. Ben Roethlisberger, 25 attempts. This is what I'm talking about, baby. This is where we win. If we're going to win. That's how we do it. That's perfect. Ben was 15 for 253, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. However, there should have been 2 of them. But I'm just saying, I'm not picking on Ben, but again, his time, the Father Time is in his pocket. Father Time is on his watch. Time is right there. But he's still, he's been great his career. He's still able to muster. He can still win, but it's got to be this type of game. Najee Harris, You gave the boy the ball 23 times, and look what he gave you. 122 yards, a touchdown, 5.3 average. In the last 3 weeks, including this one, Najee had been averaging over 4 yards a carry by the halftime. This is what I've been saying, y'all. The run game hasn't been as bad as the Steelers made it look because we went away from it. Today we stuck with it. It worked early and we stuck with it. Thank you, Matt Canada. Thank you. And that boy Claypool, 5 of them things for 130 and a touchdown. Deontay Johnson, only 2 receptions but 72 yards. Yeah, man. I'm just saying, that's how we win. That's how we win. And hold on, guys. Give me a second. Just letting the missus know. We gotta do something really quick. But that's how we win. That's how we win. 25 attempts. That's it. So again, for anybody who has their opinion on Ben and this and it, go watch all of these shows. I have been consistent with my argument. I have not thrown him in the trash. And I told you, he can still win games when we have games like this. If we can do that, he can still win you some games. But if he throwing that ball 40 times, no. Not at this point in his career. This was a nice balanced game by the Steelers. Let me see what y'all got, man. I'm going to be here a little bit, just for a little bit. Destiny says we should run more, but not overwork Najee. Absolutely agree with that. And I know some people, because I saw it on Twitter, I peek in there just to kind of see what you guys are saying, some of the fan base. I saw some people getting mad when they saw Balaj and they saw Snell, and I'm like, nah, dog, we got to spell him. You don't want to run this dude in the ground. I like the way they're getting him out of the game after a first down. I'm cool with that. And Anthony McFarland has been practicing. I'm hoping to see Anthony McFarland at some point in this season because he's that nice change of pace. But come on, man, you can't run this dude into the ground. You just can't. You can't. Let's see. Yeah, Russell is not playing next week, by the way, 007. I hate to see that happen to my man, though. Y'all know how I feel about Russell. Relfax says Deontay and Claypool are just straight studs, super talented. It's no wonder why we putting up with the drops. Yeah, I mean those dudes. Listen, man, Claypool has the potential to just be, wow, he does. I'll just say that. Ernest Gray says still not throwing enough down the middle. Yeah, we're not. And this is what I'm saying, guys. And my criticism of Ben, you see it in his play. We're still not. Still kind of staying away from the middle, and I don't know what's going on there. I mean, because again, when I cut the film on, I see guys open. Big Gerbil says, Sim, I've been saying that since last year. Okay, yep. Who else we got? Marlon says, if Juju is out for some time and Claypool and Deontay have big games again, you already know what that means. Listen. Y'all have to understand what Juju does for this team. You just have to. I mean, if Claypool and Deontay keep balling and Juju is out there with them, that opens it up for Juju too. Remember, most people felt like Juju did all of his eating with AB. So what you think gonna happen when all of a sudden teams got to account for all three of them? And Juju has still been that third down guy this season. He's still been that guy that came up with a clutch catch at the time when we needed it, or the tough catch, if you will. That's been Juju. Juju has made the tough catches, the impact, like the bang bang plays. That's been Juju. Let's not discredit what Juju brings to the table. Now, maybe with Marlon, maybe what you're saying, Marlon, is, he's not re-signed. That's a possibility anyway. But nah, that don't mean nothing as far as Juju's still gonna be what Juju is. Now, Claypool was eating in that slot. I will say that. He was. So maybe you'll see more rotation of that where we have Juju outside and Claypool inside, and then they, flip-flop. But because Juju said he wanted to get more opportunities outside. Debbie says, thank you, Matt Canada and Ben, for not throwing the score when Najee dove over the line. That was a man-on-man physical down play. If you can't get 1 yard, then you don't deserve to play. Debbie, you already know. Outstanding. Outstanding comment right there. And you are right. Thank you for not throwing the ball in that situation. Let's see. Who else? Why Diggy says, my issue wasn't spelling Najee. My issue in that Packer game was the situation in which it happened. Yeah. And you're right. We got to definitely balance. We got to grab a hold to those type of things, like who's the right personnel and when. And I know exactly what you're referring to in that Packers game. And, I think it'd be hard to disagree with what you're saying there, man. Let's see what else y'all got. A few more. I'll read a couple that I haven't read yet. I saw one. Where is it? Where did it go? Dust Thunder says, Juju is the heart and soul of the offense, believe it or not. Thank you. I'm telling you, fans, man, y'all be wanting to throw this dude. Y'all be ready to throw guys away so fast. And Marlon, I'm not saying Marlon is doing that. I'm talking about the Juju haters. Y'all, they know who they are. Let's see. Leonard Green says, people are bringing bad Juju to Juju. It's messed up. He's a good dude outside of football. That's what I'm saying, man. And I like that play on words right there. As an MC, I always recognize wordplay. I like that. Bringing bad Juju to Juju. That's fire. Brett Fox says, hey, y'all, if Ben has trouble delivering deep passes, we can't keep asking him to attempt 12 or 15 more deep shots per game. Got a point there. And that's why I said, man, I'm going to keep my eye on the amount of shots we take. Those 3rd and 2s, and we just I want to keep my eyes on the efficiency of that and the amount of attempts. All right, guys, one more, and then I'm out of here. King X Minty says, they keep saying Najee name wrong. Like, damn, isn't even hard to say. Yeah, it's Najee, man, and he made it very clear, even before the season, it's Najee, G. But everybody says Najee, And actually, I'll give credit to Slur today. He actually corrected it later in the game. He said Najee, and then he's like, I'm Najee. So shout outs to him for that. But all right, guys, I told you, man, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here, man. I can't be too long today. Wow. I just saw Tony just told me, man, Saquon Barkley got taken out on a cart. Prayers to him, man. Oh, man, Saquon has just had a tough go of it, man. Man, I hate to hear that. All right, one last one, man. Steelers 63 says, Russell Wilson not playing next week, out for a month. It will be Geno. Yeah. And listen, man, if the Steelers can muster up a win in that game and we go into the bye 3-3, it allows you to reassess. Man. And, I'm not saying that, the sky's the limit, or not saying that the team is great, but I think after those 6 games, you'll really be able to look at your team and say, okay, I think I know what we are, how we would need to win, where we can't win, and all of that. So we'll see. But all right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Definitely will catch up with you guys on Tuesday. Again, the phone number is right there on the screen for you guys that are new. Tuesday is the phone calls. I'm going to give you a very short re-account of what I recapped here tonight after watching the game again. And then the floor is yours. And the last couple of weeks, we have gotten a bunch of calls. So please give a call, man. And if you're new, continue to do that. Phone number is 619-924-0818. But like I said, it's right there on the screen. But other than that, man, if you are new, or if you're just listening and you haven't done this, why haven't you? Subscribe. Go ahead and be a part of the home team, man. And if you're subscribed, make sure you cut on your notifications so you know when videos are available. As well, guys, if you like what you saw today, thumbs up. If you like. That's all I ask. And thanks for all of you all that donated. If you care to donate outside of YouTube, Cash App, PayPal are also options. Thank you for those who do that as well. But that information is in the description. And as well, if you would like to have some personal content, like some private content, consider becoming a member of the channel. That information is in the description as well. But outside of that, man, I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to go spend some time with my lovely, lovely wife. And I'll be watching some football tonight as well. That's going to be a good one tonight. It's probably a good one going on right now with the Chargers and Browns. But yeah, watch some football. Let's enjoy this win. And hey, be back on Tuesday, man, with more to say. Finally, we get us a win. And finally, Matt Canada is doing some of the things that even us would like to see out of him. So, great. But all right, man, I'm out for real this time. Be safe, be blessed, and thank you for tuning in to the Turbo Towel post-game show. Peace.